that happens, you always start hearing people talking about, okay, well, here comes the biggest scam. It's going to start falling off the side of a cliff. Let's do a little refresher with Bitcoin. Here we go.
It says here Bitcoin's rebounding, I guess maybe, based on whatever close. It did drop below $99,000 mark. That was yesterday. Joining us now, it doesn't feel like it's up $2,000. Anthony Pompliano, founder and CEO of Professional Capital Management. It kind of slowly just has been selling off for about 3 weeks, I think. And last week it got worse, broke under 105 all the way down to 99. I know what you're going to say. But when there's things like this going on, people sell what they're able to sell, and it's pretty liquid.
Yeah, look, I think that over the weekend, we've now seen throughout this year, multiple geopolitical events have transpired on Saturday or Sunday. The traditional markets are closed. Bitcoin is 24/7 global and liquid. And so people do sell what they want to sell. Now, we see that stocks are down this morning, and I think that many assets will get sold when people are able to sell those as well. But also, I think that a core function of Bitcoin is not only the accessibility, but it is the volatility. And what you're seeing here is that people are reacting, whether it's positive or negative. Bitcoin just moves more. And ultimately, if you look over the last 90 days, Bitcoin's up 15%, and it's up over 50% in the last year. So I think Bitcoin investors are very happy that they're continuing to see volatility.
Let me ask you guys a question. Put a quick one in chat. Are you a Bitcoin believer? Are you a Bitcoin investor? Just getting a little temperature check here, because Bitcoin has been roughly in this, pocket. Let me just take a look here. In this pocket, roughly 12% for the better part of 50 days, almost 2 months. Almost 2 months. Let's take a quick little. Okay, yeah, there are a few. There are a few. Not quite as many as I thought I was going to see, but there are a few. Let's keep this going here.
Just think that the overriding theme of the past 2 months, though, has been cool inflation and more dovish comments coming, at least from some members of the Fed. That's what Bitcoin wants, isn't it? I mean, a rate cuts, QE, anything that increases the number of dollars out there. The big beautiful bill is going to add how much? I mean, all these things seem like they're playing right into Bitcoin's wheelhouse. It was up to 110,000 from where it was at 17, 2 years ago? 17,000? It wasn't that long ago. So it's come a long way, but it is. And you can't look at it the way I'm looking at it.
If you think about that volatility, Bitcoin was down, $75,000, $76,000 just a few weeks ago.
Right.
We're back up over $100,000. And so, again, it's the volatility of Bitcoin is what is attractive to a very large audience of those holders. But also, I think that the large pools of capital now realize that it is big enough for them to allocate to. And that's where you're really seeing kind of this adoption, both on Wall Street and at the nation state level. And I think that's only going to continue.
And that's going to be for the original reason, and that is.
And honestly, the adoption of Bitcoin in the mainstream has been questionable, in my opinion, at least for a while here, because the overall idea was really like independence of currency, right? It wasn't to depend on anybody. With institutions buying in, I think people should just be a little aware of the fact that we may see less volatility as time goes on, but that's just my personal opinion here. Let's keep this going.
It is as an alternative to fiat, and there's only 21 million, because stable coins based on the dollar, if they're real and have 102% backing with treasuries or however they want to do it, that could, seems like, base, put it on Ethereum or whatever you put it on, that could take the usage case away from being a big benefit for Bitcoin, couldn't it? If Bitcoin was stable, get up to, let's say it gets up to $1 million a coin, which I'm just.
Well, Bitcoin is stable. Bitcoin is stable, right? One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. And I think what you're seeing is the Bitcoin dominance.
I know, but you don't want to use it necessarily. You don't want to buy a pizza that's worth $1 trillion in 10 years. So it's not being used for that yet. You could use stable coins the same way, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, I think what people are doing is they're saying, I want to hold the things that will be valuable in the future, and I want to get rid of the things that aren't going to be valuable in the future. So they're literally selling the stablecoin. They're saying it's not going to be valuable in the future, and they're saving and holding the thing that's going to appreciate in value, which is Bitcoin.
Okay, so those are different usages then for Bitcoin. Bitcoin ever become the the way that transactions are done around the globe instantaneously?
People already do that to some degree. I think it'll continue to become more and more popular.
But the question is, in a stablecoin world, does it erode the value of Bitcoin in that regard? Meaning to the extent that people want to be able to move money from place to place to place?
Yeah, well, I think
right, that's part of the argument about what Bitcoin's able to do.
I think right now we still live in a dollar-denominated world, and so people are pricing the assets in dollars, and so people are going to spend the dollars to buy those goods. As you see more and more organizations start to price things in Bitcoin, which is a big if, but if that happens, then you will see Bitcoin become the medium of exchange, because now what you're doing is you're taking away that exchange rate or that volatility in dollar prices.
Okay, different question, just about your own life.
Yeah.
So you're going to have now the Pompliano sort of empire between the SPAC, which you're working on, between this effort, between your media efforts, how are you going to devote yourself to these different activities?
Yeah. Well, today we're announcing what is the largest initial fundraise for a publicly traded Bitcoin treasury company in history. We've raised over $750 million. It's a $1 billion merger with the Columbus Circle SPAC. And the idea here is we want to really be successful in the financial services sector. And so if you think about this ProCap SPAC, that is a dollar-denominated vehicle.
I'm not really a fan of SPACs per se. I do think this is something that I'll keep a close eye on, and I'll definitely give you guys a breakdown. You know, I'll break this down in simple English when I do figure out exactly what the benefits and risks of this may be, and what their kind of like a SWOT analysis and what their weaknesses may be in the market. But it does sound interesting, at least at first glance. And I know Pomp has been one of the Bitcoin bulls or Bitcoin leaders, if you will, for the past few years here. So something worth at least looking into.
To go and do an acquisition. The ProCap Financial is the exact same thing. It's a publicly traded company where we can go and we can acquire Bitcoin.
Right.
And so I think that is where my entire career has sat. I sit at the intersection between the internet and the Bitcoiners and the institutional world. We've been very fortunate to have a lot of institutional investors participate in this round. But also I think that there is a dollar-denominated world and there's a Bitcoin-denominated world. And what I want to do is continue to sit at the intersection of that and provide ability not only for myself and our shareholders.
Are you operating these businesses? Are you effectively the CEO operating them, or are you going to have teams that are doing this for you? How's this going to work?
Some of the different vehicles, obviously, we will hire entire dedicated teams. In the private market, that's what we've done. We own a lot of businesses, and we have CEOs and executive teams that run those businesses. I will be the CEO of ProCap Financial, which is the business combination with Columbus Circle. And what I believe is the opportunity there is you're able to acquire Bitcoin, but then not only just acquire Bitcoin. Buying Bitcoin and allowing it to go up in price obviously has been a successful strategy, but I believe that the future of these companies is going to be how do you build revenue and profit, the financial services on top of that. No different than if you look at the traditional financial service firms. They have a balance sheet of dollars, and they go and they build these financial services on top that drive revenue and profit. I think that you still have to build a business on top of a big pile